Hi guys! I've read and heard many great things about this Cooler Master model, and I was anxious to test those claims myself. So let's dig into it. First of all, let's cover some looks and build. They came in the great big black box that looks really nice. Except headphones, you get two pieces of cable. They're detachable, and first part has inline volume control. Also, it has microphone mute button. At the end of it, there is a 4-pole jack that will play along nicely with most phones and laptops. And then there is this extension part that you can attach and actually get two traditional 3-pole jacks, so you can plug those to any sound card, DAC, amp or whatever. Of course, this being gaming headset, you get also detachable mic that works quite nice in my experience, but I'm not the expert on that, so I leave it to other reviewers out there. The headphones themselves are built quite nicely. Here we have matte plastic and here some soft touch finish. This band is metal and headband padding is nice and soft. Ear padding too. It's thick, it's so soft and pleasant, and these are probably the most comfortable headphones I have ever worn. They don't push too hard on your ears, but they sit securely on your head. And I must say comfort is just really, really great. But let's talk sound. Well, it's okay. Bass is not overblown at all. It's decently precise, but not that fast and accurate actually. Mids are clear, but kind of thin and detached from the bass. And vocals are mostly dominated by the pronounced higher mid-range and quite hot highs. While I listen acoustic instruments and vocals that I know very well, they all sound a little bit thinner and sharper than they should. The bass that I mentioned is not overblown, actually has fullness and fluidity. It's not too dry or too rigid in any way, but mids and highs are dry and they lack body. So I hooked them to several different sources. My integrated amp, several DACs and smartphones, and the aftermath is always the same. Decent bass, but detached from the mids that are kinda thin and heavily influenced by hot highs, giving you that rustling quality, you know, like paper, aluminum foil quality. Soundstage is decent, it's wide enough, but honestly nothing to write home about. Now, I pulled out several of my headphones for comparison. First, AKG's K92. And immediately I noticed fuller sound with some decent mid bass that is actually connecting bass with mids in a whole, not just two separates. And highs have more fluidity here too. Voices are kinda tubey and they are muddier than on Cooler Masters, but overall these produce bigger and more lush sound. Going back to Cooler Master, I became aware that they sound more flat and dynamically compressed. Now, compared to HyperX Cloud Alpha, that I don't have currently, but I reviewed them and you can see the video somewhere on my channel, these have much more realistic bass level and I appreciate that. But HyperX does everything else better, including fuller and sweeter mids, which is so good for vocal music, cleaner highs that don't leak into mids and don't make them artificially sharp. Better separation too, with wider soundstage, like HyperX Cloud Alpha are really masterful at creating huge, spacious sound. And the only downside of alphas is their over-bloated bass. But still, choosing between those qualities and cooler masters, I would choose alphas any day. And lastly, I pulled out my champion on a budget, Samson's SR850, I think, that can be acquired for as little as 25 to 30 bucks. And even those have slightly better overall sound balance, which means fuller and more fluid mids and highs than cooler master. Now, overall clarity and soundstage is comparable, but personally I prefer fuller sound of these to more analytical and sharper approach of these. So I was like, wow, these are the nicest looking and most comfortable headset currently in my possession. But also, at least in my opinion, worst sounding of them all. And trust me, they feel so nice on my head that I really wanted to like them. When I first put them on my head, I knew I wanted to keep them and sell off these uncomfortable and shallow padded AKGs. And just keep using these heavenly, fluffy and soft thing every day. But in the end, I just couldn't deal with the thin and slightly harsh sound that can, in my opinion, be bettered by cheap Samsons. Now, for gamers, it might be perfectly fine bundle. You have very nice quality and usability, great comfort, and I wouldn't blame anyone for getting them. But as far as the sound fidelity goes, I just can't recommend these. So, thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and see you next time.